The reason why most of us don't have the money that we need, the reason why most of us fail to execute on that business idea, and the reason why most of us simply stay stuck is all because of.
Welcome to the Sam Linton Show, the podcast designed to help you shift your mindset, find your voice, and change your world. Sam is a pastor, coach, and expert communicator, helping leaders and entrepreneurs like you step into their purpose, speak with confidence, and make a lasting difference. So let's dive in.
Subject: the failure to start. And I figured that would be a great place for us to start as I welcome you officially to the Sam Linton Show. It's weird to call a podcast after me because I am not really a brand, but one thing I wanted to make sure of was that if I was going to start a podcast, that I would stay open to the idea of doing whatever it is that seemed to be interesting for the moment. So that's really what this podcast is going to be. I have a plan, and I'm going to tell you about that plan. So the title of this show, in case you didn't see it, is the Sam Linton Show. It's all about three things, really. It's about mindset, shifting your mindset, and getting yourself out of your head and into the real world. Second thing, it is about finding your voice. I work with communicators, I work with leaders, I work with executives. And a lot of times what happens is we try to live our dreams doing it, speaking through somebody else's voice. So what my goal is as somebody that helps with communication and somebody that helps to get people feeling more confident is we want you to find your own voice. And our podcast is going to help you because we are going to give you what you came to the internet to look for. No, it's not knowledge. No, it's not one more set of tips and tricks. No, it isn't even a little bit of a hack that's going to save you time. I'm not saying we're not going to do those things, but why you're here is you want permission to do the thing that you already know that you should be doing. I heard that on a video by Alex Harmozy, so permission. But that requires you to be willing to find your own voice and take permission. So, find your voice, shift your mindset, and lastly, change your world. I like working with leaders and executives, not just because I have an executive role at the church that I'm in, but because I believe the quickest way to change the world is by impacting the leaders of the world. And when I say the leaders of the world, you might own a business that has 5 employees. You might be a CEO of a company that has 500 employees. I was working with somebody last week and he had hundreds of employees. If I could get a change to happen in that person, the kind of change that he wants, it's going to change the lives of those people. So that's what this is about. It's about shifting your mindset, finding your voice, and changing your world. So welcome to the program. Now, let's come back to our problem, right? Why don't we build that business? Why don't you agree to do that toast at the wedding? Why is it that you have yet to truly jump out and make that leap for that role at your work that you know that you really are overqualified to do, but you have not done it? Why? Because you are afraid to start. A couple reasons why. And this is perfect because we're starting a podcast. And here's why you're afraid to start. Number one, you think that you are doing something that's already been done before. And the point of you starting something is very, very useless. Like, why would I start? Like, why would I start this? Like, why would I enter the podcast space about mindset, about speaking? There's tons of stuff. I mean, there's a TED Talk podcast. Dale Carnegie has a podcast. Amazing. All sorts of stuff. What do they need my voice for? Well, that's a great way to never do anything. Here's the secret. Unless you're waiting for the perfect idea that has not yet been executed, that no one else has thought of, and you know that it's going to be great if you do it. If you wait for that idea, then you're going to be waiting for a long time because pretty much everything has been done before. And if it hasn't, well, we're all kind of just waiting for Elon Musk to do it, aren't we? That's pretty much where we all are. So pretty much everything has already been done. But what hasn't happened? Why should you start something? The reason why I'm starting this is because there may be speakers out there that are better than me. There are definitely going to be people that are more qualified than me, but they're not going to have my voice. And no, I'm not talking about this buttermilk biscuit baritone that you now listen to. That's not what I mean. But I mean, they don't have my experiences. They don't have my story. They don't have my connection. They don't have my humor. They don't have my personality. And that's the same with everything. So you're afraid to start something because you think it's been done before. Well, spoiler alert, it has. Too bad. Let's start it anyway. Second reason why you're afraid to start something, you are afraid it's not ready. It's not ready. What's going to happen? What's going to happen if I thought it was ready. I really did. But it's not ready. So what do? Nothing is really ready. What you mean by it's not ready isn't that you're not ready to start it. What you mean is it isn't perfect, right? That's what you mean. You mean it's not perfect. You mean that if you don't know all the variables, like if you don't have exactly the amount of money that you need to start, if you don't have exactly the right formula for the talk that you want to do and that somebody invited you to, you can't do it. That is perfectionism. And the truth is, most things that you start are going to have even greater value when you jump in and you're forced to be more decisive as you go. So this podcast is about 6 years in the making. I've always wanted to do one. I've always wanted to formally commit to one, but I knew that if I did it, that I would want to stick with it. So what that meant was if I was going to do it, I was going to build a studio and I was going to have a crew. I was going to have Jamie from Joe Rogan. I was going to see if he moonlights. I was going to have him research my stats. I was going to line up 52 really interesting guests. And here's what I decided instead. I'm in my room. I do a ton of virtual teaching and coaching in here. This is where I do all my studying. I have my microphone, I have my lighting, I have the background. It's kind of clean. It's, just my normal stuff. And here's the truth. This isn't what I envisioned. I wanted to start with everything right. I wanted to have the neon lighting. I wanted to have where you could actually see. I have some definite, you can't see it. If you're listening, you can't see it. But I want you to see some of the definition I have in my face. I was going to see if I could buy a light that reduced the chins, if you could reduce those, pull those bad boys up. I'm sure there's a light for it. AI could probably do it. But my point is, it's not perfect. It's barely ready. But I'm ready because I've been ready for this moment for my whole life. And so that's the way you want to look at every endeavor. You are ready to do the thing that you should be doing. What you're waiting for is a guarantee. Well, there is none. What you need is permission, and I want to give it to you. Go for it. Hit it. Do it. Do the thing. Make it up as you go. Take a chance and be willing to adjust on the fly. And that's the third and final reason why we don't start things. So we have the first reason we don't start things is everybody else has done this. The second is it's not ready, which really is a cute way to say it's not perfect. And the final thing is, and this is a drum roll, are you ready? You are not starting something for the simple reason that you think that what you're doing is something you're going to always have to do for the rest of your days. I have been married for 19 years, and it'll be 19 years this year. And my wife and I, we have 3 kids. And when my wife and I first started dating, and I know some of you might have a different story. I'd love it if it was different. But when you date somebody, what happens is you date, and the whole point of dating is to see, is this a person, do you want to spend your life with this person? Better still, do you want this person to see you in the worst situations? You shouldn't be thinking of, well, do I want them to enjoy all my happy moments? No, what you should be thinking of is, do you feel comfortable calling this person and telling them that you can't come up the steps downstairs because you pulled your back picking up an empty laundry basket? Not a full one, not one that has a tower of dress clothes and a soaking wet comforter and, pieces of marble in it. No. I threw my back out for 2 weeks and I had to go to a chiropractor and everything because I picked up an empty laundry basket. Now, here's how you know you're with the right person. If you're not, you're like, oh, this is kind of embarrassing. I don't want to call that person because I'm embarrassed because I'm in the basement and I'm like leaning into an empty laundry basket because I can't put my back straight. But it took me a long time to realize that my wife was a person that I wouldn't mind telling her, hey, you know what? I can't move. And I probably need you to come pick my underwear up. Can you help me? And that's the way it is with most endeavors. When you start something, it doesn't mean that you have to do it forever. In fact, almost every entrepreneur that you've ever admired, the truth about them is that they started one business and they ended up over in a completely different business. And you don't look at them and go, oh, so stupid. I know I'm picking on Elon Musk a lot because he tends to be in the news a lot, but that's so stupid. Elon, you started PayPal and look at you, you quitter. Now you just left from that. What a loser. And he just started like 4 other things. Like, you don't always have to stay and do everything exactly as you've done. Now, some people do that. Some people find things, they find businesses, they stick with a role and they stay in that. And that's amazing when that happens. But here's something else that's amazing. It's amazing that you can start something, have success, and start something else. I believe in God. And I believe one of the things that God enjoys the people do is when they explore new stories and new beginnings. That's why the company that I work for, Glint Storytelling Group, focuses on really getting people to tell their story in a way that resonates with who they are. And this is why I write books. This is why I do coaching. This is why, because it's amazing when people tap into the unbelievable potential of their being able to start something again, to find hope again, to actually give themselves permission to still succeed and thrive doing different things while using the same parts of their personality and character that had them have success previously. So that's the third reason why we don't start things. It's because we think we always have to do it. Like, I don't think I'm always necessarily going to do this podcast, but I do want to do it with some sort of frequency and some regularity, because why not? Why not do that? And I think that there's going to be an opportunity for me to learn some things, meet some new people, talk to people. It's going to be an opportunity for me to give value for free. I do a lot of coaching. I get paid very, very well to do coaching. But there's a part of me that really just enjoys conversation and being able to talk through things with people and really being able to give people value without expecting anything. So suffice it to say, that's what this is all about. So if you're into this idea of mindset, clear communication, leadership, it's all these things, mostly mindset. And, I'm going to touch on a bunch of things, but when we think about mindset, our whole purpose is to get you to shift, to get you to find your voice, and to get you to change your world. And if I can do that, then I am doing what God wants me to do for this particular sphere of my life. So with that said, here's what it's going to look like. Once a week, we're going to drop an episode. The episode is probably going to be between 25 and 45 minutes in length. I try to keep it on the shorter end to see, but sometimes maybe it's going to be longer. If we have a guest, it's going to be an interview. We might do that. I don't know if I'm ready to do Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman, long form podcasts yet where, you need to take a pee break 3 or 4 times. I don't know that I'm there. And I don't know if 3 hours of me yapping is going to be sufficient for you. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with 25 to 40 minutes and see how it goes. We'll have guests. We will have guests. We will have specific subjects, and we will have opportunities to let you know about some products that our company offers that might help you in your business. And you'll get to hear about maybe some experiences that we've had with other clients and how we've helped them, because I really do like serving people. I've been in the ministry as a pastor for it'll be since 2004. So you do the math, whatever time you're listening to this. So I've been doing this a really long time. I really love Jesus. I love my family. And I also really, really love when people have a wow moment. So it's my job to help you to get to those moments. And that's why I started a coaching business. And that's why I teach people how to speak better. That's kind of what I do. So with that said, our first episode is one that I am really excited to bring you, which you're going to hear after you listen to this trailer. And the first episode is something that I called It's Not Stage Fright. You don't have stage fright. So, the biggest question I get asked when I'm coaching, I've coached hundreds of people, through my own company and through Dale Carnegie in the past. I was a Dale Carnegie master trainer for a while, which I love Dale Carnegie. And the biggest question that we often get asked is like, well, how do you get rid of stage fright? What do you do with stage fright? Like, how do you manage that? And most of the time when you're saying stage fright, you're acting like it's something, but it's really something else. So that's the title of the first episode. I'm really excited for you to hear that. We're going to be dropping that probably next week. So what we'd ask you to do in the meantime is simply this. Number one, if you like this content, we want you to subscribe. Number two, if you like it a lot, we want you to share it with as many people as possible so they can subscribe. Number three, if you really, 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 really like it, please leave a review that says this is awesome. I can already wait to hear what this podcast is like, or I was really, really helped by this little bit of content. Like specifically today, what did Sam do? He told me 3 things about why people don't start. And you might say that was helpful for you. Well, good. That's the kind of value you want to get. I want you to get something practical. So maybe right now you've been procrastinating about starting something and you're waiting. Well, just start. Just give it a shot. Just like this podcast. It's not ready. That's okay. But you are. You are. So if you're going to continue, you're going to need to shift your mindset. You're going to need to find your voice. And then, and only then, you can change your world. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.